to observe a bunch of things going on with the price. But before I continue, Tone and Vortex are joining me. You guys want to say hi?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Just welcome you.
Hey, Jimmy, I'm just curious. Are we blocking like the latest price? Or no, that's on my end. Never mind. I control that part.
Yeah. So this is Bitstamp. It's at 95.85. But what I found more interesting was if you go to Crypto Market Cap, you can see that Bitsum is at 99.87, and let's see what's the other Korean exchange. Corbit is at 99.71, and I think Coin1 is at 99.75. In fact, they were all above 10,000 very briefly, and I'm sure if we refresh or go on their website, we can see that they're doing better, and they're going to keep going up. But they're definitely leading this rally by $300 or $400. So Tone, you want to talk about price a little bit? What's going on? Are we going to reach 10,000?
Yeah, no. I'm just pulling up my charts. Now, I didn't think we would, but I also didn't expect us to go up this quickly, right? I don't know. I honestly don't think we will. This is like the episode to 5,000 all over again.
You just destroyed the dreams.
I know. Look, I could easily be wrong, but and the week has just started. My expectation was that we hit a bit of a wall at around 9,850. And I think a lot of people are just going to start selling right before 10,000. I don't know. I know I'm considering selling a little bit, and that almost never happens.
Wow.
We're just going up, and it's just too much. I don't know. And my metrics, right? Like here, hold on. Let me do a screen share.
And Tone, you did say that I believe just earlier today or yesterday, you said you were looking for at least a few more days of upside before a correction.
I am. Well, like things started to get conflict a little bit, right? Well, like we're going up so quickly. I mean, I was looking for like 5 or 6 more days of upside. I just didn't expect these days to be this big, right? Because look, it's time and price. It's always time and price. Most people only focus on price, and so few people focus on time. I guess if you're an options trader, you learn to appreciate time a lot more. And some of my time metrics are a little bit conflicting. I was hoping that they would line up. I was hoping we would slowly go up this entire week, and then end of week would get a sell-off. But we're going up so quickly right now that, I don't know, things are looking interesting. Here, you want me to do the screen share?
Yeah, I'll stop mine, and we can see yours.
Just one quick question, Tone. Do you think we are at the parabolic stage yet? Do you think we're going up parabolically yet, or not yet?
It sure feels that way, right?
It feels that way to me.
And then, like, all these tweets are coming out how Coinbase has signed up 200,000 new people.
Yep.
Like, it's getting a little bit crazy. But here are my metrics, right? Like, this is the week that I'm looking for a top, like sometime this week, based on weekly time analysis. This should be the week of a top. But the week started like 2 hours ago, right? So, like we can go up to like $15,000 this week, and then fall, and it will still be within a top this week, right? So this is the problem. The problem is that I'm looking for a top this week, and I'm never a fan of round numbers, which is why, like again, see, things are lining up. Like look at how things lined up back here at. Well, the 5,000 didn't line up that great, but here, right under 3,000, we lined up perfectly with one of these red arrows, and we pulled back. And this is happening right now. Like the last time we had the situation, look, we had a bit of a pullback, and then a straight up 9 weeks of green. And boom, we had a serious correction. And the same exact thing, just like 1 week in the middle that did not break the count. I don't know. Now, of course, look at this week. This week was what? We opened this week at opened at 2,500, closed at 3,000, right? So that was $500. Now, 500 may not seem like a lot, but 500 on 2,500 is 20%. So we went up 20% that week, right? So if we extrapolate that to today, we opened the week above 9,000. So we can go up almost $2,000, and that would match this candle if we go up $2,000. And so far this week, we're only up, well, this week is only 2 hours in, but we're only at 300, right? So we still have like another 2,000 to go, which is very, very possible, very possible. So this is where the metrics start to get a little iffy, right? Because look, I'm on day 3, and again, the day just started 2 hours ago. I'm on day 3 of what I was looking to be like 6 days of upside, but like this was my arrow. Like I didn't think it would go up that fast. I really, really didn't. So we'll see what happens. And the 4-hour chart is still clean. That still has a bunch of candles to go. I do want to point to the hourly. Oh wait, what is this? Oh, this is the 4 hour. So what is this? Oh, sorry, this is the 1 hour. This is the 4 hour. So the 4 hour is still kind of clean. I think I told people this morning, you can take your profit and then you jump back in if it continues to go up. And this was your jump in the beginning of this candle. The 1 hour is what I really want to talk about, right? Because like what happened today, right? Like, so the last time we had a 9, I drew these arrows. What is that bell? Is that me?
Oh, is it me? Yeah, it might be.
I think you're getting dinged.
By what? In what?
Oh, it could be Tone. Oh, sorry, that's Slack. That's the sound of Slack. So it's either you or Tone that's
That's probably me. I did a stupid mistake an hour ago, or 2 hours ago as I was waiting for a delivery. I turned on sound on my cell phone, and I think that's what put me in a bad mood because my phone literally became a freaking...
Imagine if Tone got a sound every time he either got a Slack, a Skype, or a tweet.
Or a Telegram, yeah.
Don't forget Telegram, man.
Oh, man, that thing is just insane right now. I didn't even have an account until like earlier this year. Now I'm in like 70 groups or something.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Well, you want to mute those.
Yeah, I mute all the groups, but I mean, yeah. All right, let's look at the hourly. What's going on?
All right, so on the hourly, right? Like we're hitting these 9s left and right. And this morning, remember, Jimmy, when I drew these arrows? Look what happened. I haven't touched the arrows. Well, it's amazing how my randomly drawn arrows always lead to like the perfect point.
So this is like the 3rd time I've seen this.
Well, you copied the 2 arrows actually. You did that, and then you just like lined them up with wherever. So
right, and again, like what do I always say when a 9 shows up? A 1 to 4 candle correction, and then back up, especially when it goes in line with other stuff. Now these arrows I'm kind of drawing in hindsight. But I could have drawn these arrows at any time, and now I'm looking for another 9 in the hourly, right? Like once we broke, I mean, your bullish entry, according to this indicator, was right there. The moment the candle with the candle with a 2 on top of it started trading above the candle with a 1 on top of it, that becomes a bullish entry. And then we're off to the races. So now what am I looking for? Well, the hourly chart is giving us 5 more hours of upside. Are we going to make it to 10,000 in the next 5 hours? I doubt it, but anybody know? Like, who knows?
The chat would disagree with you, Tone. It looks like everybody in the chat, both chat seems to be pretty bullish about seeing 10K this evening within the next 5 hours.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like this is irrational exuberance as we know it. Like, well, I don't know. Like, I'm happy I'm not trading right now. I'm just happy holding Bitcoin.
Well, you said you were considering selling some. So, are you still considering?
Yeah, that's scaring the crap out of our chat. It's scaring everybody in the chat, Tone.
well, some, like 2% maybe of my holdings, which is not that much.
I don't know. That's still a lot, probably, relative.
I gotta pay rent.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, it's enough to pay rent for the next, year or 2 or plus.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Like, prepay rent for a little bit.
Yeah, prepaid rent. That's the concept invented right here, guys. Prepaid rent.
Just pay off your mortgage.
See, a lot of people watching us in the chat. You guys weren't there when Bitcoin was hitting 1,000 in 2013.
Yeah, that's right.
Jimmy was around. I
was around.
The mistakes that, at least me, the mistakes I made after a year bear market were just so bad. I'd rather not have the Bitcoin. Half my Bitcoin was destroyed, not at the top of the bull market, but at the bottom of the bear.
Oh.
Because near the bottom of the bear, you start thinking what you can do with your Bitcoins, and you end up making very dumb choices.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't want to sit through another bear market with every single Satoshi like I did the first time.
I just don't see how we could enter a year-long, for example, bear market without something catastrophic happening.
Right. You should not watch our discussion on Bitfinex and Tether.
Okay. I still don't see how Tether could drop us down to $1,000, Tona. I mean, but I understand how you say it's like 1/10 the liquidity of the trading of Bitcoin on a daily 24-hour basis. But again, that's 24 hours.
No, I mean, what do you want me to do now? You want me to shoot? You want me to just talk about all the things that worry me? I don't want to start the bear market.
All right. So Tone, the chat is saying that you're looking at Bitstamp, which is trailing the market. It's the lowest of all of them. Do you want to switch to the Bitfinex?
Beautiful. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Perfect. Thank you.
Coinbase, I don't know, somewhere else.
Oh yeah, it got to 97.24 on Finex.
Let me see here. Oh wow, yeah, 97 on Bitfinex. Okay.
Yep. Now Tone's starting to think maybe.
Look at all those arrows, man.
I know. Look, no. But seriously though, this latest drama between another, team coding core. I'm not happy to hear that this morning, Jimmy. I had no time to look at it. Like even some people tried to hit me up about it. I just like to give you more information, and I know it's important, but like. I got conferences, I got to do presentations, I got my own seminars, I got my own, I got my own chat groups where I'm trying to like update, do the code stuff. What is that?
I'd like to do Jimmy commentary on that as well, because I would like to comment on it too after you're done, Jimmy, because I actually just talked about it on my show as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on. I just saw like the posts and stuff like that everyone else has been seeing. But yeah, I didn't know I can do this, but using Zoom.us, you can.
You can draw.
Wow.
Yes, I could be like, look at this for. I think I'm a terrible drawer, but yeah. And I can, I can do random stuff. I could put a green check mark, I guess. Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Jimmy, I think I know what sponsor you're going to have. It's going to be.
I don't know. They have cool little tools. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know what's going on, and I was like actually discussing this with Pierre and Michael on the show that I was just on with them. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if this is leading to sort of like a balkanization of Bitcoin in general. We already have Bitcoin Cash as sort of like one faction that's sort of left, and Bitcoin Gold obviously, and many others. But yeah, it could lead to that because there isn't very much cost to sort of creating a new Bitcoin country, if you will. If you think about it, the difficulty in balkanization in general is that you have geography and people that don't agree and stuff. With something on the internet, you don't have geography, you don't have ethnicity, you don't have any of that stuff to worry about. You just sort of go with whatever your beliefs are, and that makes things very strange. But that's something that we can see in the future, where we have one set of people that go in one direction and another set of people going in another direction. I don't know.
Well, I just don't think. That'll make my screen. I just don't think really that it's too big of a problem because remember, guys, we already have Bitcoin D, B Core, Bitcore, or Bitcoin, Bitcore, all these other implementations, and all these implementations seem to be really really good for Bitcoin because again, people are trying out new things. So Luke Dash Jr. has a couple of things that he'd just like to try out. The Core, of course, you can't push through Core because remember we have Bitcoin Core, which has this huge, amazing, perfect, amazing testing process, right? This very rigorous testing process that we can all guarantee that we can hold our billions in. But we want to have export. We want to have that Bitcoin Core like that can never keep up with all of the experimentation that's happening across all of these other different coins and all these other different things. People don't want to wait around for this stuff to be tested, so they want to be able to test it themselves. And in my opinion, Bitcoin Knots from Luke Dash Jr. is just another one of those implementations where they can just test all sorts of cool stuff and test all sorts of cool theories and see how it works and play with it. For example, like the wallet, I believe Bitcoin Knots, I believe it had replaced by fee on the user interface before Core or something like that. It had a few user interface features before Core had it in there, and so it's just a great way to experiment. I don't see this as people breaking off from Core or anything like that, because again, the imperative, the importance of having that process that Core goes through to protect Bitcoin, to keep it from to make sure it's difficult to change, and to keep it censorship resistant, to keep it decentralized. I don't see that going away. I just see people experimenting, and I think that's.
Well, I push back a little bit because what we saw with the block size debate, it seemed very much like what you just described, but then it became sort of like a personality clash to some degree, a politicization. I know a lot of people have sort of fallen out with Bitcoin Core and my free meeting. Are you serious? Oh man, are you serious?
What happened?
All right, it says your free meeting will end in 10 minutes. Please upgrade to a paid account of $1.99 a month.
We got 10 minutes, guys.
All right. Well, anyway,
is that because we have 3 people or just the paid?
I
think it's because we got 3 people. You said, Jimmy, right? It's only good for 2.
Well, no, that's for the Restream.io. So we're streaming to 2. So that's. Yeah, wow, I did not expect that. So,
hey, you live and you learn. This is how we do it live, folks.
Yeah, relog it, cheapos. Yeah, I know. Right? We're just trying this stuff out right now. But anyway, we South Korea is about to hit 10,000, by the way. But yeah, what was I saying? I was talking about how it starts out as like sort of like a difference of opinion on a feature, but there's been some falling out. I mean, Bitcoin.org was very aggressive. John Newberry used to contribute to Bitcoin.org as like the website, but he left because they were like suggesting things like assassination and weird stuff like that. So I don't know. To some degree, I'm a little bit wary of that sort of thing. So I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I can push back a little bit on that. Like, for example, the Bitcoin.org site. Look, Bitcoin, I think a lot of the cypherpunks and a lot of the people who believe in Bitcoin long term don't want an official site for Bitcoin. We don't want an official anything for Bitcoin. And so I definitely, of course, am concerned that the Bitcoin.org site would be changing their default wallet to something that's more untested than core. But again, this falling out that you described, Jimmy, it just seems to me that people have become what you describe as a falling out, I describe as a realization of people coming to terms with the fact that Bitcoin should be difficult to change. Changes should be rigorously tested. We are having hundreds of billions of dollars on this network, and I think people are beginning to realize this. Like, oh wow, hey, we can just fork this and do our own experimentation, or we can just and create a new implementation or create a new fork. People see this now. It's actually more freeing than ever, almost, if you think about it, because at this point, you can modify Bitcoin by doing a number of things, including creating your own implementation and forking. And if you can build a community around that, well, then that's fine. But again, it all still brings attention and awareness back to the original chain. Because if you call yourself something like Bitcoin Gold, people are going to ask, well, what's the difference between that and Bitcoin? And then people are going to tell them, that there's a huge difference. And so I just don't see this falling out as you see it. I guess.
Well, I mean, I can see it leading to a falling out. That's all.
Okay, sure.
Well, can I push back on one of your statements a little bit? When you said, well, people don't really want, an official Bitcoin website. But what happens when you don't want that is because then you have an official Bitcoin website like Bitcoin.com that believes that B-Trash is Bitcoin, right? So by not having an official website, scammers get to, sell their shit, pretending to be Bitcoin.
Right, and I think that there's going to be scams in Bitcoin no matter what we do on the internet across the globe. Now, of course, the Bitcoin.com, the actual default domain, that's a big one. But at the same time, this space is ripe with scams. Just look at Ethereum. I mean, right? Like, I don't see, for example, Roger's Bitcoin.com scam slowing down the growth of Bitcoin or slowing down the actual information of people being able to obtain the information that they need to really realize about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is so global. There's so much information everywhere. I mean, look at
I think it's a problem. I still think it's a problem. I mean, look, we're doing the best we could, but that's the thing. Like, the question becomes, oops. So what's going to happen? Are we going to? Is this about to die?
No. I just paid the $15.
Hey, all right. So let's see which of our followers is gonna donate $15 to Jimmy that just paid for the rest of his live stream.
Right? Somebody already donated $10. I think
keep the stream going. Henry W.
You donated $10 to keep the stream going. You guys are the best, man. You guys so much. Thank you guys so much for doing it.
Yeah, I had to unshare the screen and all that just so I could put in my credit card info. But yeah, it's all good. Yeah.
Look, no. On a serious note. It was voices like ours and a bunch of other people, but sooner or later, like, scammers have a reason to scam, because there's lots of reasons for people. Like, I mean, pick the scam coin of yesterday, right? Like, whatever, the Bitcoin Diamond, right? So, like, scammers have a reason to do to promote propaganda because it profits them directly. We profit. Basically, I mean, we like doing what we're doing, and I guess we're profiting by Bitcoin going up. But sooner or later, like, at what point do I stop working, 8 to 10 hours a day and actually enjoy what has been achieved with the price of Bitcoin going up, right?
That's all up to you, Tone. That's individual.
I know. And that's the thing. Like, it's individuals, mostly volunteers, that are pushing Bitcoin.
And now they're all rich, Tone, so they can continue to start creating companies and invest back into the ecosystem.
Or they're going to take a break.
And that's fine. Some people will, and I hope that they will, because this shit is not for the lighthearted.
Right?
We went through 2 battles this year.
And these battles were so frustrating. And I know there's more to come, and I know they're going to be even bigger. And it's just completely crazy, considering where Bitcoin is today, and people are still talking about how shitty Bitcoin is.
Well, only within certain circles, right? I mean, only within, like, for example, maybe some Ethereum circles. But at the CME over there in Chicago, Bitcoin is pretty important.
Yeah, well, let's hope it stays that way.
Yeah, so it did briefly go above 10,000, I think, on Bitsum in Korea, but it's back down just a little bit below. I want to thank Damu Zhen for $10 R. I don't know what that is, but yeah, that's. I think that should cover probably the 20 bucks that I have to pay to keep the stream going.
You know, when you don't recognize the currency, it usually doesn't cover a cup of coffee.
Well, regardless, I want to thank them anyway. Oh, hey, there's 15 bucks from Blue Core, so we're good.
Hey,
For keeping the stream alive.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, you know what? Damn, Blue Core is cheating on me. He's always
That's true. All the money is going to Jimmy's chat.
Well, I kind of need it. Well, no, I don't. I could afford it, but you know, like this is I didn't know that there was a limit to the free one where you had to only have 40-minute meetings. I need a dip when dip. All right, well, we'll see. All right, so here's another story I want to show you guys. This is the one that I convinced Trace to write. Jimmy Song suggested I do an article. But basically, Trace goes through all of the things that have been happening and the 7 network effects of Bitcoin that he got from Andreas, and you know how all the different statistics and how they're making Bitcoin like more and more attractive to people. So you have no idea what Bitcoin is or how it works, but you're convinced it's speculative. Yeah, which great quote there. Here's some like sort of predictions, I guess, based on some of the stuff that he's projecting, and his conclusion is here. This was because he had like these 280 character tweets, and he had like multiple of them that were very interesting, but I was like, why aren't you just like combining them into a blog post? If you have a large tweet storm, at some point I think you just need to make a blog post. So he agreed with me, and he made this thing. Very interesting story. I was going to lead with this tomorrow, but I might still lead with this tomorrow, so you might see this again, and I'll tell you more of what I think of it. Here's what Vortex sent me. This is the Parabolic Investor. This is sort of, he said something like, I've been charting parabolic trends for a long time. I use curved lines and not linear lines because linear lines are for non-exponential trends. When I draw the trajectory of BTC intersecting all tops and all bottoms, this is what I get. And his parabolic thing goes to like 100,000 by like January or February of next year. So that seems a little bit extreme to me. Toad, your thoughts on this kind of ridiculously...
Real quick, can I just thank you, Jimmy? Sorry, Toad. Real quick, can I just thank you, Jimmy, for getting Trace Mayer to write an article? Because think about this: if we want anybody writing articles, okay, for Bitcoin, one of them is definitely Trace Mayer. So just thank you, Jimmy, for that. Because the more information from Trace, I think the better for the community. And I've always loved his information. And if he's writing blog posts now, thanks to you, Jimmy, then thank you so much, Jimmy. That is amazing. Sorry, Toad. Go ahead.
All right. Hold on a second. I'm looking for. Somebody's been texting me like similar. Okay, so here's the thing, right? Like when Bitcoin starts to go up, everyone tries to outdo each other for the craziest prediction. Just like when Bitcoin starts to go down, everyone tries to outdo each other for the craziest low prediction, right? It's just the way it is. There's nothing you can do about that. I try not to think that far ahead. I really don't. Now, having said that, I'm trying to see if where does stuff download? Does it download to my temporary folder? I guess I can hold on a second. While I'm not screen sharing, let me just go to my email because someone's been sending me like similar pictures. So hold on one second. I'll pull one up. I mean, the person will know who they are. I'll probably just pull up his trading view because he threw it into trading view. Let me see if that opens. All right.
Can I just thank Chris Mezzacapa Jr. real quick for the $17 on Jimmy's channel? It says Vortex is my GD hero. I want to be his best friend, Bill Payne.
How much are you going to charge him to be your best friend?
Oh man, you guys are all my friends. No charge at all. No charge.
Well, I don't know. I think you should sell your best friendness to this guy for a lot of money. Only like 3 Bitcoins, guys. I think you can be his best friend for 3 Bitcoins.
Dude, I think we're actually all owned by We Smoke Bitcoins at this point. That dude's donated so many hundreds of dollars to us at this point that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, hey, so Smoke, thanks because he sent me a little bit today.
Okay, I haven't gotten any from him, but not that I'm complaining. Anyway, parabolic trend.
Hold on a second. I took your screen share. Yeah, so someone just said was sending me this over. So he put, it's a very similar chart. It's the same idea. You just try to connect as many points as possible. And so according to this, we have been grossly undervalued the last 2 years, and we're in this blue zone.
Oh, we're starting to get into the green though.
And we're just starting to get into the green zone, right? So
that's a very rainbow chart there.
It definitely makes me happy, not just because of the rainbow colors, but
Yeah, so you know who you are. Now here's what worries me, right? Well, when I post people, this was probably a big mistake. When I post people that other people have sent me, it encourages everyone to send me more shit. So this was probably a bad idea because I can't look at everything, and I ignore a lot of people. So just so you know, so this way I won't feel bad when people send me and they don't get a reply back. Yeah, so we're pulling back down a little bit. Like, oh boy,
You're causing the sell-off again.
that's probably my fault again.
stop that shit, man. I want to tell you about that.
Everybody wants to buy the dip anyway, so.
It's true. I see it as a small correction. People are like, we're dumping. I'm like, by dumping, do you mean slightly correcting? Okay, that makes more sense.
I mean, still got room. I mean, here's the hourly chart. Yeah, like the volatility is crazy. The liquidity is just not there, guys. The liquidity is just not there. There's not that much.
Until December 10th when the CME starts, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not really going to help. Hey, thank you, Jimmy. But okay, look. But the other thing is, right? You know what bothers me even like a lot? Probably another reason why I'm like not all that happy with the price rise. Well, hey, finally, B-Trash isn't coming up first on when I type in CoinMarketCap. My problem is that all this garbage is going up faster than Bitcoin.
Really? Is it?
It always does, though. You know, the crap coins always go up, and remember, then they fall back down to nothing. Bitcoin doesn't.
Yeah, well, the only one that I want to go up isn't, and that's Bitcoin Gold, because I still haven't pulled right now, right?
Come on, Tony, it's pretty high.
188% over 7 days. That's pretty good.
Yeah, dude. I mean, come on, Tony, it's 5%.
Well, the crazy thing is, Bitcoin Diamond, if it were on this chart, I think it would be number 4.
Yeah, but it's not on this chart. There's no one actually trades it. Okay, look. Like, not only is this garbage, like, I don't know. People are just investing in dumber and dumber ICOs. And there's just so much, like all of this is going to zero. And people still haven't figured it out. It's insane. It's completely insane. Well,
Tony, there's a lot of dumb money out there still, Tony. I mean, there's $2 trillion just in U.S. bank accounts.
Yeah. Well, technically not really. There's not that much cash around. But, yeah, I mean, look, freaking Dash is like $600.
Yeah, I mean, it's the price of Bitcoin was last year. That's blowing my mind a little bit.
Right. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? And I'm still waiting for this bubble to massively pop. And I don't know. It's not happening. Not happening.
It's not popping, Tone. It refuses to pop.
Well, I mean, if hard forks occur the way we think they will, all those guys get pushed down and money flows back to Bitcoin. So that will be a very interesting thing to watch because I can't believe Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Gold are 3 and 5 right now.
Yeah, and like you said, Jimmy, there's Bitcoin Diamond will be on there soon, and then by the end of next year, the top 10 will just.
No, Diamond won't. That one's been exposed as a.
Oh, okay.
We don't know. We don't know if they'll release the code or something, but that's the pressure we're putting them under because it's closed source right now.
But I think Jimmy, you agree that by mid next year to the end of next year, the top 10 will just all be Bitcoin.
Well, probably. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I mean, come on, it's just gonna all be Bitcoin.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Are we pulling back up? No, not really.
94.25 is pretty good.
We're bouncing.
Yeah, we'll see.
We bounced from 93.26 to 94.41 on Stamp. So
let's take some questions. Let's have questions from you.
I was looking to. I don't have any.
Well, here. We could do my other 2 stories. Let me share my screen.
Okay.
All right, share screen, and all right. So here is this other story. Why Elon Musk invented Bitcoin. So this is sort of like, I think, speculation by some guy.
Oh, wait, Jimmy, you're not sharing screen, I am.
Oh, no. I set it so you can multi-screen. So it is showing on mine, so you might have to unshare your screen, but the viewers can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, so this is speculation by some random guy. He's saying Elon Musk is Satoshi, I guess, and why is he hiding it? Because he sold PayPal to eBay in 2002 and does not have the right to launch a competitor. I don't know. It's just kind of random.
I highly doubt it.
I mean, look, he's a busy guy, but he doesn't have time to also invent Bitcoin.
Does he? I don't know.
I don't think so, man. Like, he splits his time between Tesla, Sun City, and the Boring Company.
Well, I mean, if he was Satoshi, he would have just gone away in 2010, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
So it would have been a couple years of his life, maybe. Who knows?
Could be.
That would explain why he doesn't say good things about Bitcoin, even though he seems very aligned with it. So I don't know. But I don't think it's true. I don't think Elon is Satoshi. I just thought this was sort of like this random thing. All right. Anyway, are there questions? Nobody has questions on either chat.
I'm looking.
I guess everyone's just concentrating on this price here.
Really, they are. Everybody's just continuing to talk about the price. I don't see the actual. Oh, here we go. Thoughts on implications of the recent successful Litecoin and Bitcoin Lightning swap?
Oh, I mean, yes.
I think we spoke about.
Yeah, it would be cool once decentralized exchanges become a thing. But yeah, the trades themselves aren't as useful until you have an order book. So yeah, that's the thing that needs to come. Great business idea if you guys want to implement some sort of Lightning Network order book across different coins. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, no, I don't really have much of a comment on that.
I just think that it's this could very well be like the beginning of the decentralized exchange when we can just do all these coin swaps with Lightning instantaneously on an order book, like Jimmy said. It kind of why do we need a centralized exchange then at that point besides fiat on ramping?
All right. Okay. I mean, if we don't have any other questions, maybe we could end this.
I guess somebody said, can you please talk about how the futures works on OKCoin and why do they have such high volume?
I don't know how they work, so Tone would have to answer that one.
I mean, I haven't traded their futures in a long time. I mean, they have high volume because the Chinese like to gamble. I mean, it's and also a lot of people are probably taking both sides of the trade. I've seen it done in the past. You take on both sides of the trade because the losses are socialized. So if you take both sides of the trade, expecting Bitcoin to just move quickly in one direction or another, one of your trades immediately fully sells out. And the other trade continues to go forward.
Jimmy, you want to comment?
Well, thank you. We smoke Bitcoins. Don't be sad, Jimmy. Smoke weed. Well, I've never smoked weed, but thank you. This will pay for a year's worth of, Zoom.us, and yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Well, a lot of people are having questions about Tether again. They're asking, can it be possible that 20 million new Tether is being used to pump the price of Bitcoin since Bitfinex is accounting for the majority of Bitcoin volume?
It looks they do have a significant amount of volume, but it does look like it's actually the Korean exchanges that are leading. So I don't know.
Okay, now there's so many questions. By the way, I can't even keep up. Like everybody's asking.
Throw on the Tether chart if you're on crypto coin market cap.
Let's look at how much new Tether has been issued.
Right. So what happens when Tether moves up from 21 to 4?
I don't know. I
don't see that happening because the money's not in dollars, man. The money's in the crypto.
No, the money's in dollars.
I mean, the vast majority. I'm talking about the vast majority.
Well, it doesn't matter, right?
Not Tether, but in the ecosystem itself is in crypto. It's not in dollars.
No, but the market cap of Tether is straight up dollar based, right?
Yes, of course.
Right. So the more Tether is being
in crypto, not in Tether.
The more Tether is being created, the more Tether goes up on that chart. Right?
Yeah, it looks like it went up maybe 8 million in the last.
Zoom in on that. Just move the scroll bar all the way to the current month or something. Yeah, there. Perfect. Yeah.
So it did go up a little bit, yeah. It goes up.
On what day? Okay, so there hasn't been any new serious creation since the 20th. When did it get hacked?
I think right around there, yeah. I wonder if they're counting
let's see.
Because that's exactly 30 million right there, that bump.
Yeah, but it went the opposite direction.
No, it got issued and then stolen. I don't know. I guess we'll have to figure that out. But yeah, it is interesting because maybe what Flipper was saying was right.
Maybe that spike. Maybe that little spike, the one that went up.
Maybe. Well, it is interesting. What Flipper said was sometimes it goes down, sometimes it goes up, and that's what it looks like. I don't even know how they figured these numbers out, but it's possible that it is trading normally. I don't know. Yeah,
it's interesting.
So another question is there probably more for Tony? Is there a better way to measure cryptocurrency's value than market cap?
Cryptocurrency's value? Market cap is not a great way to measure cryptocurrencies, right? Especially the ones where the majority is not in circulation at all, right? So it's a terrible way to measure something like Ripple. It's a terrible way to measure something where 10% gets issued and the rest just sits there, like Steam it used to be, or maybe still is. So, yeah, I mean, I did think about this stuff in the past. I already forgot what the answers that I had to this question back then. No,
it's getting late for Tone.
It is. No, it's just been a long week. There's no breaks, especially a week like this. And now, just something to think about. It's a good question. It's a hard question. Considering how wild the market cap is, you really do need a better metric. But here's the problem. It's hard to come up with a better metric when you know most of the mempool and transactions are spam. Maybe if more people were honest, which they're not, we can come up with like a real metric. Like let me give you an example of some bullshit, right? Because I'm a consultant. Everybody knows that, right? So anyone can call me, and I'm usually, people are generally honest. At least the Bitcoiners are, right? Every now and then I have to talk to an old coiner, and I think I'm going to double my rate. Like if we're not going to talk about trading and my specialty, I might have to double my rate, mostly because I have to account for the scammers. Because people that call me to talk to me about altcoins, they're generally they're scammy people in general, right? So this one guy called me up, wanted me to help him. He put in like a large sum of money. I mean, a large sum of money where my consulting fee is like nothing. Like see, I can talk about this publicly. I can blow up his whole spot because he stiffed me and didn't pay me. So there's absolutely no client relationship here, right? So he invested like $1 million in some straight up scam. And he knows as an inside guy what day it's going to pump because they're going to release certain information. Now, I don't want to say what coin it is because I don't want to help pump it. But the point is, like, someone invested $1 million and he wanted me to help him exit position at a maximum profit. And I told him that I told him my best technical analysis techniques. But at the end of the day, the guy's I don't know, he was probably no more than 20 years old, so he knew nothing other than he's a multi-millionaire off of ICO scams. And he's like, well, how could I have timed this move? And it's like, like a half a day rise and then down. So he wanted me to give him an algorithm to basically time every bottom and every top. And I basically said what he wants is impossible. So he didn't like my answer, and he ended up not paying me for the consulting call. Right. So this is the average. So again, right, this, in my eyes, that call is very frustrating for me because I know you just call it about a scam. And this is why like my rate will probably double for anything other than my straight up specialty, and the money's going to be up front going forward. But this is the space that we're dealing with, right? We basically have children that never had money before. There are now multimillionaires that think they're privileged. I mean, someone has, like I said, someone just put $1 million into a scam. He already quadrupled it, and he wants to make it, 10x on top of that. Yet he's too cheap to pay for true advice and honest advice and he reached out to me. Well, like that wasn't me seeking him out, obviously, right? But this is the altcoin space we're dealing with, and if this doesn't end soon, it's going to make the .com bubble look like nothing. I mean, this thing can reach trillions, and then all of it goes to zero, except hopefully Bitcoin.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. All right, so
all the other questions are just basic, like market related, tether related, CME related. We've already answered all that stuff.
Yeah. Also, I think some of us have like flights tomorrow.
But yeah, you got to flight.
It's like 10 o'clock Tones time, so yeah, it's a good time then.
Yeah, it's a little late. So let's take one final look at the price. Jimmy, you want to pull it up?
Sure. Here you go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the next candle is 5. Yeah.
Nice.
The next candle has to go above this one though, so it's got like $100 to go.
Is that the hourly? That's the hourly, right? Next candle is good, right? Next candle has to go above the 2 candle, so you got room there. You got. It should be fine.
Oh, it's only like $30. Okay, yeah, that's not hard. It's candle.
Yeah, no, that should be fine. We're still on track. We're still doing.
We got 4 more hours of upside down.
Yeah. No, but like I said, like this altcoin space, man. Like it's just people are, and the thing is, like I don't know about how it is on your end, but. Well, like I got friends that didn't listen to me about Bitcoin, and now they're all about altcoins. Like it's just so frustrating.
Extremely frustrating. I've had a couple of that, and that's extremely frustrating. And they're trying to tell you that they blew you off on Bitcoin, and now they're telling you that whatever altcoin they're into right now is going to take over Bitcoin.
Not like Mark Cuban. He criticized Bitcoin for a long time, and now he's doing ICOs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's insane. It's completely insane. So. No,
listen with that, Tom.
Yeah. But look, 10,000 is traditionally any round number. I mean, stocks don't usually get to 10,000; they split.
Except for Berkshire Hathaway.
Right.
It's nuts.
Maybe Amazon's not going to. No, they split. They split because they want more volatility. Now it's going to be interesting what happens with Bitcoin above 10,000. Is will we be going to a bits notation?
I'd like to see that. I think unit bias is real, but we'll see.
I agree. I've been thinking about that some more, but with the bits notation, you realize that one penny per bit going to 2 penny per bit is 10,000 to 20,000 for Bitcoin.
Exactly.
So we're not really solving our problem of having people think in cents, right? Because they're still going to be like 1.1 cent, 1.00, like it'll be 1 cent and a fraction because you're not going to be able to sell bits for, you can't round off to the cent. I mean,
no, it'll be traded the other way. It'll be 100 bits per dollar. It'll be 99 bits per dollar, 98 bits per dollar.
That's up to the software. That's just up to the software tone and the ecosystem to catch up with that. And I think it will, especially when we're over 10,000 for a sustained amount of time.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think I'm going to push for the bits. I want to after one more dip. Well, let's see what happens. Let's see if we pull back at 10,000, maybe go down $1 or $2 grand, and then go back up and break it.
I do think that there's some industry support for that. So that would be a good thing, and especially if we can. I don't know. I think an informational Bitcoin improvement proposal is something that maybe should be done and say, hey, a bit is worth 1 millionth of a Bitcoin, and let's start using it. Are you BIP XXX compliant? Something like that. So
somebody write a proposal. That's awesome. Somebody write a proposal for that.
I think they will. I think once we're above 10,000 consistently, I think we will.
Yeah. So I thought about that for a while. Writing one of those, but we'll see.
All right.
I'm getting tired myself. I'm like yawning.
All right, let's. All right, so thank you guys for joining us. Sorry we didn't get to 10,000. It did on Korean exchanges, I promise, but we might have to wait a little longer. I will be traveling tomorrow, so I'm not sure if I'll be around when it actually hits 10,000. But if it does, then I will blame Tone. All right. Anyway, all right. You guys want to have final words before I sign off?
I think I'm good. We're getting a little bit late, but just wanted to thank everybody for joining us and for all the tips. You guys got a bunch of tips, so that's just great. We're having a great time. We didn't hit 10,000, but this was awesome, and I hope you guys had a great time too.
Yeah, thanks for the tips, guys.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sticking around.
All right. Thanks for the questions.
And thanks for everything. And this song.